My goodness, I was trying to record something earlier and it did not work out the way I thought it was going to work out, but I guess that's fine. We're going to hit quick play at 7th curse A, and then pretty much that's all I need to remember. Not that I've remembered a lot of my quick play combinations, but it is 7th curse at, so let's, oh my goodness, I'm going crazy, as we get into Miku. So we'll probably just do one Miku run. Again, for Haru and Miku, they're special in that I played them a lot of the time anyway, so you don't really need to see more runs, because all of their runs that I've done with them, I've done in the past. But as we get into actually Ath 7th Curse character exclusive Miku. Yeah, I've been trying to record some things on top of game dev stuff I'll talk about later, because there's nothing really much else to talk about unless there's some weird combination on screen. Ath 7th Curse, by the way, if I lose this run, I should just slap myself. Dexterity, Strength, Knowledge. Second Takushi-san at the end. Maybe a second encounter, but it's good to remember anyway. We'll get Strength and probably Dexterity to 8, and we should be good to go. Again, very safe run we have at the moment, but we'll see if it's actually as safe as I think. Again, the mysteries could turn things around, if anything, so I guess we'll see. We do want this. For 5 Doom, 1 Strength is pretty cool, in my opinion. Otherwise, I guess I can hold that, because that costs Doom as well. So you know what we're actually going to do? We're going to take a peek at our mysteries. And this is a very specific opening as well. Not that you're not always going to increase strength, but when you start with Witness Curse for whatever reason, you can, depending on your mysteries, do some cool Doom manipulation, especially on enemies like, or bosses and mysteries like Akamanto, Nails, now that we have primarily stamina hitting Nails, unless you do ending A, I don't, but Flood, Sailors, Arms, Botanist, and Mermaid. So if Arms is timeline B, Witness Curse can be very useful here. Of course, we still need a weapon, so I normally wouldn't use Witness Curse. I guess for giggles we will, though. So this costs about, well, I was gonna say 4 Doom, 3 Doom. Oh, my body! And let's see where we go. I want to take Botanist first. Yeah, type Botanist first. Arms Flood into Mermaid Sailors, so in a moment we'll do a lot of Seaside, but while we're in a forest mystery right now, let's take care of that. Also, yeah, not kind of in the middle of game dev stuff and trying to record something else, I was having a bit of trouble also modding, pretty much working on my mod for Fear and Hunger 2. Because the primary problem, and why did I grab so many? It's fine. I would want to actually reroll, but while we can grab Kyoko, never mind, we're on 7th Curse, so all I did was nerf myself. But we basically rerolled for the Army Knife, although we did take a bunch of Doom for it. We're going to take a lot of Doom this run. Now, is that going to be a good or a bad thing? We'll find out later. But as we start with no funds, we'll trade off Reason out of funds. Yeah, so the thing about, for me, modding Fear and Hunger 2, and I don't know if any other modder has this issue, is that when I'm trying to mod, sometimes, you know, basically the files that I'm trying to use will just break, if that makes any sense. Specifically, oh, hold on, let me just focus on this for a moment. Yeah. Specifically, when I'm working on JSON files, they don't actually read, if that makes any sense, when I'm trying to test out my mod. So what happens is, obviously, it doesn't read, and the game crashes when I try to play Fear and Hunger 2. I think another minor one is when you're actually looking at, because it's made in RPG Maker, when I'm working on the mod through RPG Maker just decides to just die while I'm trying to mod Fear and Hunger 2. But I think, again, that might be something, I probably not have managed something in the JSON files, if I were to speak correctly for a moment. But again, we'll see. There is a kind of a band-aid workaround that I can do, but it is kind of annoying when I lose progress off my mod because there's something wrong with the JSON files, or just, you know, the RPG Maker crashes on me. So, hey, that's what I'm dealing with. In the meanwhile, so specifically I'm trying to record Monster Rancher 2, because I want to do some Monster Rancher 2 videos again, but I was having some trouble getting OBS to display it properly, which is not normal for me, which is not normal for everyone else, but I'm having this problem because I think I have to change a certain setting in OBS. Specifically, I have to window capture or game capture depending on the setup that I'm using, and I'm working on a different setup when I'm recording, or when I plan to record Monster Rancher 2, because I'm also going to be using a modded playthrough of the Steam version of DX, because there are mods for that. Which means I need to be running something else. Not that I couldn't run it on the setup that I'm pretty much using right now to record World of Horror, but it would be better for me if I recorded on the separate setup, which is why I'm having problems with game capture on OBS. But I think that's just a matter of assigning the correct video card settings, and then I was trying to find out which one is better. Some of them have flashing black screens, so that's why it's particularly a me problem that I want to figure out. So hey. And if nothing else, just know I'm having a lot of streamer problems if all that went over your head, because I kind of went to the technical details, but I didn't want to be like too generic this time either, because it is a very specific problem that I know is happening in my face. Much like as I get into game dev, much like me I finally figured out the mechanic I wanted to do. I talked about a character who gains stacks of their own unique buff. I think there's a better way to do it, but for now I'm gonna brute force it, because it's not something that would really be affected over updates in terms of if I make an update, I don't have to, well, I might have to work on something completely different. We're gonna run away from this, by the way. I might have to work on, it's more work for me, but it's not like it breaks anything. Like, for example, usually a lot of times this involves when you say you're playing an RPG Maker game, then it gets updated, but then you have a save for the old version. The saves are no longer compatible is the general version. But part of the reason for that is that maybe, you know, you don't normally want to do this as a game dev, but maybe you overwrite your game or your game variables or switches, which you really shouldn't do. But if you do that, then saves will no longer be compatible, because say a variable or a switch that says I defeated boss number 2 is changed to whatever, for whatever reason, I defeated boss number 5. Now, in an old save, if you defeated boss number 2, it's going to say you defeated boss number 5 because the developer decided to switch those variables. That's a very, very, that's a very, very not good example to do. But the only reason why I mention it here is because I've actually seen that example before. Not exactly bosses, but basically, I think it was an item in this case that I'm thinking about as we enter Flood here. So someone decided to, you know, count the number of items and tracking this number over saves, and then when they updated their game to a new version with more content, and it's not any, you know, this is a very small game too, it's not, you know, one of the bigger RPG Maker games, and when they decided to update, for some whatever reason, but, you know, there's probably a good reason on their side, but they switched this variable, and people with old saves tried to transfer, you basically not lose progress, and that resulted in, well, things going wonky. Particularly that the game just outright soft locked people in some cases, and the other time when, you know, well, the worst, well, at least the game didn't crash, but yeah, there was some funky stuff happening. There was some funky behavior happening without outing this game by speaking more details about it. But I think you get the point. Even if you weren't, you know, didn't know much about designing or developing RPG Maker games specifically, I think you understand what I mean by the transferring of saves did not work correctly because of the example I gave. So you really should try to build on top of it, but even then you usually want to make some way of transferring in between saves, and you can do that with RPG Maker. There are a lot of band-aid there are certainly band-aid fixes you can do, but you do want to handle it through, you know, if someone has an old save, you develop a, you know, it's a little extra work, but it means that people get to keep their save progress, like, without any weird things happening. Whereas if you just rely on people and, you know, do what I said, which normally you just keep developing, you make updates, but you don't really address it, but you still separate variables and don't replace any variables, oddly, in a weird way. That can work. It's just that some, you know, unless you're keeping very good track of documentation and documenting things yourself really, really well, there might be some overlap at some point where you accidentally touch a variable in the future and you should not have touched it, or something like that. Shouldn't normally happen in my experience, but still though, it's good at least practice, whether you're developing RPG Maker, but just good development practice to not just consider, but add in a way for saves to transfer between updates of a game, whether you're using Game Maker Studio, whether you're using, heck, even Ren'Py, making a visual novel / game with Ren'Py, whether you are using RPG Maker, whether you're using Unreal, Unity, so on and so forth. But normally, again, there are also maybe some baked-in things, whether it's a plugin or something that you're using, a piece of code that you're using that allows saves to be transferred, an older save, save from an older update to work on a current or newer update, basically. Also, I'm just eating Doom in the face, aren't I? It's fine for now, but I could opt to I could try to go for that, but I think I'd rather just take 3 Reason, otherwise I take more damage overall, so... Or is it going to take 3 Reason in the face? I think... Do I have Doom already or Adrenaline? I think I have Adrenaline, right? Yeah, I do have Adrenaline. Store these research notes as well, as I see a dog looking at me. Because, I'm sitting in a place where if a dog wants to look at me, it'll look at me through through something. So, through a window, yes, through a window, but... Hey. I know! I will be out there, so hi! Hi, dog! Hi! Look at these fish! You can't see this fish, because I'm positioned in a way where it can't see my screen, but not like animals can... At least the animals that I'm with... Oh my goodness, the damage, by the way, I have to rest. Am I gonna die here? I forgot my second encounter anyway, so I guess we're gonna find out. Also, we have 82% Doom at the tail end of our 4th mystery. We're probably gonna die here. Granted, I admit I wasn't paying that much attention, but we had to take it and we rolled a 12, just to be expected. At least we can heal Reason here. We'll survive for as long as possible. No reason to end the video early, but... Yeah, this does not look good. I could just take Burns. Yeah, take Burns here. Because here it's better, especially since I have the funds, I can just get rid of Burns. It costs Doom, and my Doom is high enough, but we get painkillers, and we get to get rid of this injury on our face, literally on our face. Or all over our body, if you consider it that way. I don't know. Burns, I just assume that they're happening all over the character's body. But, anywho. As long as we don't get Hasty Aid, I'm cruising. And we'll move on. 86% Doom. Yeah, we need... actually, I need to go into this monument and hope it asks for stamina. And maybe we can still survive? I guess we'll see. I always forget if you can toss the guitar, says a sub-Miku main. By the way, oh, this is painful. I don't want to run, though. I don't want to take 3 all damage either. So, I guess the real question is, can I fit in a good strong attack? Yes, I can. And then next turn, I guess we gamble on... If we have to gamble, we're going for 2 normal attacks. Is what I should say. 92%. If I miss this, well... Very funny way to end the video. No stakes, so hey. That being said, we do want to switch this over to the mansion. If for no other reason than to just switch it over to the mansion. But otherwise, I actually want to visit the monument again and drop my stamina. But, again, you never know what could happen here. We do have painkillers, but I guess we'll see, won't we? Also, increasing our dexterity would have helped out immensely as well, but I'm going to visit the monument and ask for 2 funds. Hopefully I don't get out of funds if we do pain. Otherwise, yeah, so stamina, because we have painkillers. I'm pretty sure I thought I have a charisma check somewhere. That's why I'm kind of being iffy here. But, as we take the reason here... And I didn't do the other thing, so let's actually toss the library notes. Did I? Oh, so you toss if you toss an item in the middle or at the beginning of an enemy encounter, it doesn't count for the side quest. I forgot about that too. Shrug. Although funny, well, I guess the storage doesn't really count as another area. I'm just gonna roll on everything, by the way. So that's why when you go into the storage and throw things away, it still counts for the side quest, whatever, the side objective, whatever you want to call it. No, that's fine, that's fine. I think I survive here. We can level up our dexterity just to be safe, but we do have dexterity, strength, and knowledge, so quick thinking would help out here. Otherwise, well, pain. We'll take something. This is more stamina healing for me anyway. And whether I live or die depends on me, although I think we should be able to get out if we don't have the... Yeah, we don't have the 6th floor, so it's easier on me to do this. We get drenched because drenched, but we have adrenaline to outweigh the negatives of drenched. And away we go. So yeah. Yeah, again, otherwise not really much else to say. If I do other videos on top of World of War videos, I guess it's the last thing I can really say. Then I will. But if I don't, usually just World of War videos every day then. And I admit, I don't know if it's a majority of the reason why, but definitely a big part of it is that, yes, it is easier for me to record a World of War video and slap it on my channel compared to a lot of other games. But also, yeah, am I going to die here for this? Well, we didn't need to die here, but no stakes anyway. Never mind, we're at the top, because going from Toxicon to the top doesn't count for Doom. So, hey. But yeah, without further ado, not going to take much more of your time. I will say, though, if you want to speak to me Usually, and more informally, you can reach me out to me through Discord. Otherwise, my email account, or the email I use for this channel, is available for you here, because obviously I have a personal account, just to kind of separate things. And if you want to say anything, you know what to do. Otherwise, turning on notifications after you subscribe to the channel will let you know why I have not come out with a video during the day I don't put out a video. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye!